Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. This is a support group requested video, and the question of the survivor was, how many types of narcissists are there? All right, which is an excellent question. So I'm very happy to make this video and to answer this question for anyone else who may be wondering. So let's get into this. What I'm going to say is there are official documentations and professional literature that I do like to reference when I am giving you guys information here on the channel, okay? And those two things are the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostics and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, and that is something that is created by the APA, which is the American Psychiatric Association, and they are typically the standard of setting the guidelines here in America for mental disorders, as I just said, all right? But what I will tell you is the DSM-5 was not very helpful in answering this survivor's question, and actually it's been a little back and forth as to if they even wanted to keep narcissism inside of the book. So because it was removed at one point and then it was put back in there. All right, so when you go to the DSM-5 book, you know, it's very general. The information there is very general, and I feel as though, and it's not even just my feelings, it's very obvious that narcissism has a long way to go to get legally documented, you know, in the most appropriate way, okay? But with me being an expert on narcissistic abuse, I did compile all the information that I know to date, basically, and I came up with basically 6 primary types, okay? And I'm going to share that here on the video. All right, so I have 6 primary types, and then I have some subtypes that I'll mention as well. So we'll get into that. All right. So the first kind of narcissist that I have on my list is the overt narcissist. Oh yeah. And you might be like, oh, whoa, when you meet this person, because, you know, this kind of narcissist is pretty much what you see is what you get with this narcissist. So that's kind of at least a little better than the other ones in my point of view, because they're not trying to really hide their narcissism. So, you know, these are people who are maybe loud. You may find them to be obnoxious, you know, in your face. You know, they just got to be seen, got to be heard in the most obvious sense. This is what an overt narcissist is, all right? So talk about grandiose right here. Now, hey, this type of narcissist is going to be the most grandiose, okay? So that's basically the overt narcissist right there. The second type of narcissist we're going to have is the covert narcissist. All right, so covert is, you know, basically means hidden, right? And this narcissist is going to be very passive aggressive, this one. So where the overt narcissist is in your face and loud and upfront about it, the covert narcissist is going to be trying to hide that, basically, until they're behind closed doors pretty much, and only selected sources are going to, or in their mind, selected sources would be able to see this side of them. And that is typically their primary source, all right? So they will select the person that they will allow to see, you know, the parts of themselves that they want to keep hidden from society, because narcissists typically are very concerned with their image to begin with. So the covert narcissists, out of all of them, may be most concerned with their images, all right? And this is why they're trying the hardest out of all the other narcissists to hide who they really are, okay? The next narcissist that I have on my list, excuse me guys, maybe I'll take a sip of this real quick. The next kind of narcissist that I have on my list here is inverted. All right, an inverted narcissist is actually pretty interesting and yeah, very interesting. So when you think of it inverted, it's just as it sounds, inverted. So as opposed to the covert narcissist, obviously who's trying to hide who they are, the inverted narcissist, they're inwardly narcissistic, of course, but they want to be with another narcissistic partner. Okay, so this personality, even though they're a narcissist, they want to be in a toxic relationship. They want to be with another narcissist. See, the other kind of narcissists typically want to be with non-narcissistic people. Okay, because it's easier for them to get their way. But an inverted narcissist, it's easier for them to get their way if they're actually with a narcissist because of how they are wired. They have like a craving or a desire to be in an abusive situation. Now this could be, and let me give you an example to help you guys understand. This could be a woman who likes her man to beat on her, who likes to be called out her name, who likes, basically that verbal, physical, and psychological abuse. These are inverted narcissists, and they are okay with being submissive to the other kinds of narcissists. They're okay with playing that role, and they get their identity and they get their fulfillment in doing this. So, that's pretty interesting. So, if you want to think about it in another way, they like to cater to other narcissists. They like to be the submissive, the lesser than the two, because they're still a narcissist, but they like to cater to the emotional needs of a classic narcissist more than anything, okay? So these people they'll seem shy. They will seem outwardly fragile and emotionally sensitive. Those are some of the things that you will notice about the inverted narcissist. Okay? All right, so the next kind of narcissist that I have on my list is a sociopath. Because all sociopaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are sociopaths. So for that reason, that is going to be a kind of narcissist as well, since it's not mutually inclusive. Okay, so let's talk about what a sociopath. Sociopaths have a weak conscience, meaning, they're okay, with doing, and you might say, don't they all have weak consciousness, Lakia? Well, there's a spectrum and there's a scale, but as we go further up the scale, and that's what I'm kind of doing and listing them in the way that I'm doing, their consciousness gets that much smaller, which makes them that much greater, capable of causing harm and hurt to others, okay? Now, you'll see with the next kind of narcissist where there'll be like a clear differentiation between them. So a sociopath has a weak conscience, okay? And while it's general that narcissists, have that lesser gray matter and the parts of the brain that are associated with empathy and compassion, for instance, so they all generally have this, but some a lot more than others, as like I said, there's a spectrum, and as we go higher up that spectrum, it gets a lot more elevated there, and then to the worst end of the spectrum, which we'll get to. All right, so the sociopath, they have a weak consciousness, and they're actually, you might see them as being hot-headed too. These people are very hot-headed, and they do commit crimes in society, but usually they try to be behind the scenes with it, the sociopath. But they have social issues, and that's why they're called the sociopaths. The real them that they try to hide have issues with actually being properly social. So they try hard to come off as though they are not antisocial, because this type of narcissist is antisocial, fits into the antisocial category. All right. So a sociopath, you can see where that's different from the inverted. And yeah, they can be covert in their approach. It's possible for them to be covert. But because all narcissists, like I said, are not sociopaths, they have to have their own category. All right. I'm looking for something right here, because I wanted to just take a moment to touch on the antisocial, because that is a part of the cluster B, because NPD, or narcissistic personality disorder, is a personality disorder that's listed under something called the cluster B. And that's, also there with the antisocial, which are people who basically disregard other people's rights, and that's why they're able to, break the law and do crimes. And because their conscience is even smaller on the scale, they're able to do more. All right. So now let's go to the next kind of narcissist that I have on my list, and that would be a psychopath. All right. Now the difference between that sociopath and the psychopath is basically the psychopath has no regards. We're not talking about a weak conscience. We're basically talking about no conscience at all when we're getting into a psychopath. Okay. So their lack of conscience allows them to do even more than a sociopath, who has a weak conscience. They might feel something, but yeah, psychopaths, they have no regards. So, these are the people that are really committing like horrible crimes. This psychopath, you find that trait, or that, I don't want to say diagnosis, because technically speaking, psychologists do not diagnose sociopath and psychopaths. They just call them antisocial. They'll say that about them in a legal way. They'll call them antisocial. All right. So with that being said, the sociopath is basically going to be like the boldest, if you will. They're and most disinhibited, if you will, and cold-hearted might be phrases that you would hear when people talking about psychopaths. All right. So they're good at mimicking what they're supposed to be doing, but they have absolutely no emotional attachment to why they're doing it. It's just like acting, basically. All right. So the next type of narcissist, or the final one that I have on my list, is the malignant narcissist. Okay. And when you look up malignant narcissist, you're going to see one word over and over and over, and that word is evil. And you're going to be like, Lakia, all narcissists are evil. Yes, in some form or fashion. Yes, it is a form of evilness, but yet again, we're talking about a spectrum and a scale here. So when we say malignant, that person is evil. Okay, that person is evil, like Hitler. I would put him under a category like that. And even psychopathic as well, but malignant, yes. People like that will go under that category. All right. So of course there's going to be a lack of consciousness there as well, and no regards as well. All right. So with that being said, those are the 6 primary types of narcissists. Now this is what I want to say. I've created a chart. I have created a chart, and I'm looking at my own chart for how I group this. Underneath that, I have a subdivision, if you will, and that is cerebral and somatic narcissists. All right. And the reason why I had to make them a subdivision and not make them a primary type is because all narcissists have both kinds in them, cerebral and somatic, and I'll define them both in a moment, so hold your horses. But it just, in any particular narcissist, they could be leading with one or the other. They're going to be leading with one or the other in any given moment, okay? And they can adjust, but they may have, you know, a certain kind, like either being cerebral or somatic, that they lean on the most, okay? That's the best way of putting that. They have both capabilities in them, and throughout their life, they will switch as needed, but they may prefer, that's a better way of putting it, they may prefer one or the other, or they may feel like they thrive better off of one or the other. So let's go ahead and start with cerebral. We're just doing alphabetical here with no more importance over the other. The cerebral narcissists like to flaunt their intelligence, and I have done a live chat on cerebral narcissists, so you are welcome to check that out, okay? And I will place the link below this video. But yeah, they like to flaunt their intelligence, or they like to be perceived as intelligent because, you know, we know that narcissists are master manipulators. This could be the doctor that barely passed medical school, graduated last in his class, but guess what? He passed. So he can say, yes, I'm a doctor. And that is the badge of honor. And they use that title to influence society, to influence people's perceptions of them, and to secure supply, of course. So often cerebral narcissists are celibate in life. You know, they're not leaning on the sexual parts of them, and they may actually neglect their physical body. It may be a nuisance or annoying to them. So you know, they like to dominate over others as far as intellectually, and they get off on feeling like they outsmarted someone or they're smarter than. And of course, with all of these degrees, you know, oh, I got 6 degrees, you know, and that makes them feel like they're better than someone. So, you know, that's where the narcissism comes into play there. Their intentions on acquiring the accolades and the success, if you will, put that in quotes, is purely for their ego and purely, you know, for the wrong reasons, okay? So that is the cerebral narc in the most general sense, all right? Now, the somatic narcissist is the narcissist that likes to lead with their body. Now, they want, you know, their body to be sculpted and honed, you know, like, yeah, make my body into one of those Greek sculptures, right? So they may be prone to getting the plastic surgery. And, you know, they're very seductive. So they're leaning on their sexual nature to get supply, or to reel in supply into their life. And they like to exploit other people's bodies and exploit people through sex and manipulate people through sex. So, you know, this is what a somatic narcissist is. They may be a health freak. It's possible, because their body, you know, they may feel like all they have are their looks, you know. And contrary to what people may think, the somatic narcissist is not really hooked on the sex that they're having with you. It's not that they're so much as sex addicts, but they like the chase and, you know, the acquisition of things. Oh, there's a squirrel outside my window. I know, I didn't have to even stop to acknowledge it. But I've just seen this bushy tail. I'm like, number one, how did it get all the way up here? Like, we gotta be about 25 feet up from the ground, but it's neither here or there. Yes, so the somatic narcissist is sexual in nature. So, you know, under each type of narcissist, they could be cerebral or somatic. They have both inside of them, like I said. But if we're weighing a scale, one is going to be more dominant than the other. And, you know, they may lean more towards preferencing being a cerebral over somatic or somatic over cerebral, okay? So that's how that would look. And that's why that has to be, you know, like a subcategory, if you will. All right. Then under that, I wrote down Another category of narcissists, and you know, every time we go down another category, of course, it's not primary. Okay, so these are just some other types of narcissists that I would look out for. All right, and the one that I have on here first is the communal narcissist. So this is the narcissist in a community that is like the fake Mother Teresa, only most people don't realize it, okay? Because they're doing all of these good deeds and they hide behind them. And just like the cerebral narc uses their intelligence, the communal narc is using their good deeds, okay? And then this is giving them the image that they want. This is giving them the accolade that they want, the admiration. You see what I'm saying? So they're always hiding behind something, all right? So this one is the fake do-gooder. And you guys need to be aware of that narcissist, because sometimes someone come into your life and it's like they're rescuing you and they're just your savior at that point, right? And they're doing this for you and that for you. Not to say that there aren't good people out there, but be careful and be mindful of who you take favors from to begin with, but what their motive is behind it. Because a narcissist will soon want to collect, you know, and if the communal one is doing this stuff, maybe they're just trying to collect, like I said, that admiration and, you know, looking successful in society. And, you know, when they have that kind of image, that gives them access to a lot of things as well, right? And people, all right? So the communal narcissist, all right? The next one that I have under that is the addict. Now, you're going to say, Lakia, they're all addicts, right? They're all addicts for supply and attention. Yes, that is very true. But this, when I say the addict, in this subdivision, I'm talking about drugs, alcohol, gambling, sex, money, food, you know, and the list can go on and on and on. You know, narcissists can be very fleshful. So if they're just running off of emotions and what feels good at the time, you know, that's an addictive personality, and they will be prone to having other addictions, okay? So be careful and be mindful of that in the narcissist. The next kind that I have on here is the victim. Very important for me to pull up, and the victim is probably someone that more likely to be covert, inverted. They could be a psychopath, sociopath, malignant even, because, you know, it's more of hiding behind that poor is me to reel you in, get your sympathy and your empathy, right? But actually, the funny thing is the victim likes to look down on other people. This is pretty interesting. And then psychologically, with their poor is me, they may set unreachable, or, you know, what's another word for it? They may unreasonable standards for themselves that they know they're not going to meet, so that they can stay that victim. And of course, manipulating and gaslighting people in situations to be the victim when in fact they're the culprit. So just be careful of this person. And if you are the kind of person that just has massive sympathy for people's boohoo stories, then you could be opening yourself up for that victim, covert narcissist, okay? The next, and I think this is the final one that I have on my list here, and that is the bully narcissist. The bully, like in the playground, there could be a bully. Yes, the bully. And looking at the primary types, this type of narcissist could be overt, could be covert, could be the sociopath, could be the psychopath, and could be the malignant. It could be any one of them, honestly, except for, well, the bully could be inverted as well, because this was something that I found very interesting when studying the invert narcissist, or the inverted narcissist. If they get with someone that is too weak to fulfill that narcissistic role, they will become the abuser and start beating on that person. So it's pretty sick, right? But yeah, and then in that instance, that would then make them a bully as well. So, bullies, they need to elevate themselves by, humiliating and putting others down. They'll relentlessly mock and belittle you when they don't get what they want. Okay. So in an inverted narcissist, hey, I got with you. I thought you were the toxic narcissist, and you're not reciprocating. You're not beating my behind. You're not verbally abusing me. You're too healthy. We're going to have to do something about that. Now I'm going to become the bully. It's very interesting, guys. Very interesting. Human beings are very, very interesting. So there you have it, guys. My 6 primary types of narcissists, which were the overt, covert, inverted, sociopath, psychopath, malignant narc. And then we had the subtypes, the cerebral and the somatic, which is in all of the primary types. It's just whatever is dominant, and what's land dormant at the time. Okay. And then we had our 3rd category of narcissists that I wanted you guys to keep in mind and be mindful of as well. And that was the communal narcissist, the addict, the victim, and the bully. All right. So I'm thinking, guys, if you are mindful and aware of all of these types of narcissists, you are on your way, sweetie. You are way ahead of the game on top of that. Okay. So let me just go through here and see that I didn't miss anything that I wanted to mention to you guys. I took so many notes, but I don't want to talk your ears off, and I wanted to try to make it very, friendly to anyone who may not know much about psychology can listen and understand. Okay. No, I think I did good there, guys. I think I did good. I'm not going to add anything to this. All right. Other than, even though I just gave you my primary types of narcissism and whatnot, always keep in mind that chances are, it's like, I want to say 100% of the time, sweetie, these narcissists have other things going on with them. All right. Then they're not just narcissists. They could have HPD, which is histrionic personality disorder. This is someone that's a drama king, overly dramatic, exaggerating things, self-centered people. They could be BPD, which is the borderline personality, unstable mood swings, identity disturbances, which they all kind of have, antisocial behaviors. All right. And then we talked about APD, which was the antisocial personality disorder. And then things that aren't under the cluster B, they could be bipolar, they could be schizophrenic. Look, people, they typically have other things going on with them. Okay. And they're very maladaptive. Okay. Very maladaptive, guys. And that is basically, a trait that they've picking up that has become, more harmful than helpful to them. All right. More harmful than helpful to them. All right. So I really hope that this video has helped my survivor in a support group. I love my support group. And if you guys want to join my support group, you can go over on Facebook, and then that link is below, and that's Lakia Reflection and Progression Crawford. All right. And I do offer one-on-one coaching, guys, to help you understand this thing called narcissistic abuse. If you need help healing from a toxic relationship, if you need help understanding what narcissism is, doing your shadow work, setting your goals, like all types of things, guys, feel free to schedule your one-on-one session with me. People get results from the very first session. It's priceless. It is very priceless. And if you feel stuck in your life, or you just need more understanding, you want to build your support, make the investment in yourself, and you really won't regret it. Okay. Go to my website, lakiacrawford.com, to schedule your appointment, or you can hit me up on social media. Some people even call my phone. I'll be old school about it, and that's fine as well. With that being said, guys, just keep doing the work, and things get better. Seek the knowledge and keep enlightening yourself. All right. I have over 400 videos here to help you guys. In the meanwhile, please watch them. Take what you can to help you on your journey. I put them all into playlists, guys, to help you find topics a lot faster, all right? So take advantage of that as well. All right, guys? So until next time, what do I always say? Take care, guys.